Hello everybody, welcome back to another What If. And yes, this is in the trilogy of the one-shots. So, this is technically number 2, but it's its own contained story. And it's hopefully not going to be long as the other one, because this one is What If Deku was Santa? Am I going to change Santa? Am I going to change What If Santa Deku to make him completely different or whatever? I don't know. I genuinely don't know if I should, because I am debating this right now as I'm recording and telling you all this. I am debating it, and if in the story, if I have changed it, I will let you know before you hear the story. I will let you know, but I don't think I'm gonna change them as much, because again, it's Santa, and Santa's meant to be good, presents, give children coal, depending, because in some places, you have our boy basically named Krampus, and how he is in the last What If, and you know what I did? I changed his lore, I changed how he was, I changed a good amount, because the reason why is because I wanted him to be a supernatural being, just like Santa in this What If, because I didn't want him to be associated with stuff that you would not know if you did not dig deeper into what both of them were originally about. But again, Santa, he's gonna kind of be a mixture of certain little things, just a little bit, and then I'm gonna take my free will and change tiny, very insignificant things of Santa, so then the other What If could make sense, because again, Deku is Krampus in that one, and in this one, Krampus is gonna exist. So Santa is not gonna punish anybody by giving them coal, because Krampus exists. But in this universe, Krampus is not so intense. Just wanted to get the lay of the land out here. And again, if you're hoping for accuracy, throw that out the window, because I'm not gonna be accurate. Because again, these are meant to be one-shots and just me basically having fun. That's it. But also, you got one more one-shot that should be coming out either during the week when it's about to be Christmas, or the day, a few days after when Christmas already passed. I know, sucks from me if I'm too slow for all of you. And it's not your fault, it's mine. Sorry for being so slow, and sorry for thinking this idea. Well, you know what? Actually, I'm going to recorrect my words. I didn't come up with this idea. Someone on the Discord did. They didn't give me permission to put them, credit yet, because, again, they just told me this idea, and I was like, oh, this is very smart. I'm going to do it. But they're on the Discord, and if you want to tell me ideas as well, join the Discord as well. Okay, enough of me sound like an advertisement, and if you stuck through it, thank you. But let's actually get into this What If. So where the story begins, we begin at the North Pole, where there's an individual casually sitting there in his seat, checking his list twice. And he's checking who is naughty or nice. Who could it be, you may ask? It's simple. It's Santa Deku. And he's not fat. Crazy. But anyway, he's sitting there, checking his list, checking it twice, trying to find out who is naughty or nice. Yes, all that rhymed, but besides that. Anyway, he's sitting there ooh, this person, yes, very nice. Oh, all for one, naughty. Ooh, Airy, pretty nice. All Might, really nice. Oh, wait a minute. It's almost time. I better get moving before I, miss Christmas out of everything. Then after he says that, he makes his way to his sled. Since, it's almost time for Christmas, and his elves are just wrapping up, putting all the toys in his magic bag. Why? Well, in the end, he has to, make it around the world in all one night. And he can't delay because, that would be bad. So, as he's slowly making his way through the North Pole to get to his sleigh, he comes across his wife, which we all know is Mrs. Claus. And you might be wondering, who's Mrs. Claus? Well, who he ran into was Ochako. As she has her hands on her hips, saying, "Where do you think you're going, man? You forgot one thing to do before you leave." And Deku instantly blushes. And he says, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to forget to do that." Then he leans in and gives her a kiss before he goes. And after that, she walks away looking very happy. So then he's allowed to pass her in this case. So he continues and he gets in his sleigh as he, you know what? Just gonna tell you outright, I am too lazy to remember all the reindeers' names, and I'll probably still won't remember those names. So he just tells all the reindeers, "Get ready, let's go," the usual way, how Santa would. So they take off and they're in the skies, flying through the airs, the heavens, or however you want to say it. And as they're going, they go through every country. He goes through the United States and he looks down at himself for a second and he says, wait, how did I get fat? But then the moment he went to Japan, he got skinny again. Somehow, he doesn't know how this keeps happening to him, but it just happened. But as he's in Japan, he flies in, going to give his presents that he already, has for the heroes and the students. And then Deku makes his way, giving the gifts to the pro heroes first. The first one is Fat Gum. And what does he get? Basically a cotton candy machine, a fondue type pot machine type thingy, and basically a machine that basically cooks perfect steak, well done, Then he finally makes his way to the pro hero Mirko, giving her a few things that she always wanted. The first one, a really, really, really durable, basically punch bag, so she can beat the shit out of it as much as she wants. Second thing is a new treadmill that she wanted because her old one broke because she was just running normally, right? Then a new sets of weights because, she wants to get stronger, right? Then we go to another hero, and it's gonna be, let's just say, Mandalay, and she's given, a little memento of her, sister-in-law, because that's what she kind of wanted, and she wanted something to remember her, her sister and her brother-in-law. Then she also got, her whole team also got other stuff, so it wasn't just her, but, and also Koda got something since, coincidentally, he does live with them, so, but in the end, Deku continues moving on, giving Ryukyu, giving, what's his name? The guy who had the shield power. There you go. Then he continues, going to Sir Nai, giving him more All Might merchandise. Going to Muriel, giving him, a statue of himself, saying 1 million, and above it, there's a sign saying he will save 1 million people because he's such a great hero. But it's not only Muriel who got that, also the other big 3 members, the Shakasiki. Okay, you know what? Because I'm gonna mess up his name. I'm just gonna say, the guy who eats food to be able to use the power of the food and stuff. So basically, yes, he gives him a full dining cuisine food type set. Basically, it allows him to cook unique type of food and store it for long periods of time. And for Nejire, a giant notebook so she can write down all the secrets or all the questions she can ask somebody and their responses, so she can know what they say, and she can always look back at it whenever she feels like it. Then for for Mei Hatsume, ironically, this is not a surprise because, well, she's always awake at the weirdest times at night making, well, her inventions. So when Deku found her, she already was like working hard until she collapsed, passing out on top of her inventions. And he gently put a blanket over her, slide a gift right next to her called, well, it's what she always wanted. A type of reactor so she can power more of her stuff and not have to use UA's, well, limiting power supply. Because, well, they have to limit her at least a little bit. But hey, Santa Deku wants to see her succeed. Then, more of the Class 1A members. Momo, he gives her a new tea set. Because, well, even though she's rich, hey, giving someone a gift is still a nice thing to do. And she's a nice person, and she's not, spoiled. For Jiro, a new headset where it has a bunch of old rock and roll tapes from the past. For Kaminari, well, just certain figures of certain heroes. There you go. That's all I'm going to say about that. And for Mineta, well, Deku gives him a book called How to Actually Be a Good Man to Ladies and Have Ladies Like You in response. So basically, Mineta's not truly bad, but he's still pervy. So, hey, he's giving him something to work with. Then on top of that, we continue as Bakugo, which in this timeline, they never met, by the way. They never met, so they don't know each other. But Bakugo in this timeline actually gets something nice. Him with a statue of himself saying he is the #1 hero. So, yeah. For Kirishima, well, it's his favorite hero, Red Riot. And, telling him to basically continue the hard work, hero. But it's the statue of that hero. Then for Nina, more makeup because, why not? And she would love it because it's a certain type of makeup that would complex on her skin. Like, contrasts against her to the point where you would be like, oh, that's eye-catching. Then for Tailboy, which I just don't remember his name. I tried so hard to remember, but I could not. But what he gets him is, well, a new hero costume to stand out. Just a new one. Then for Hagegger, yeah, you thought I would forget about her, huh? But anyway, for her, he gives her, well, a special mirror that allows her to see herself even if she's invisible. For... oh, sorry about that. I'm like spacing out hard. But for the next person he gives a gift to, well, it's gonna be Sugar Rush, or however you say his regular name, but I'm just calling him by Sugar Rush. What he gives him? Well, more baking supplies. Stuff to actually make more very, very, very fancy cakes and all that other stuff that he likes to do. But on top of that, then we continue on to my man Tape Guy. And yes, I know, I'm forgetting some of their names, but it's been a while since I've seen the show. Just had to put that out there real quick. But anyway, what he gets Tape Guy? Well, Vici, an old DVD set of RoboCop, because why not? Then we continue on where Froppy gets, well, kind of like a water type tank. I just don't know how to describe it, but you know what? I'm going to describe it in an interesting way. It's basically a big tank of water, and it has little fake frogs around it. She always wanted it to remind her of home, so that's the only reason. But then we continue with... I'm trying to... give me a second. We continue one more. Mr. Aizawa. And what does he get? He gets a big cat plushie. And a lot of cat merchandise for some strange reason. Then Deku goes to President Mike, giving him new microphone, new stuff to make him loud and cool. And also, Deku continues giving him Like, continues giving more, the UA staff in this case. Then, for All Might, he gives him, well, a statue of Nana Shimura telling him to keep up the good work. So when All Might gets to see that, he's going to freak out. And, well, smile with happiness because, well, it's basically his old mentor telling him to keep up the good work. But then, Deku continues. He goes to Class 1B, and, like, for a few of them, because I don't remember everyone's name, so I'm just going to say a few students from there. Kendo gives her more, well, stuff for her liking, because she does love, well, karate stuff. Yeah, I know, so original from me. But, posters and stuff like that of Karate Kid. And for Abara, which is the religious girl, if you don't remember, he gives her more, well, of her religion, more holy stuff. I don't want to say what it is because there's a chance it's not the religion that I'm thinking of. So I won't list off what that is. She just gets it, okay? For, well, Monoma, we're just going to say he gets, well, a sign saying Class 1B is better and Class 1A sucks. Because, well, it doesn't say suck on there, but it's just they stink. But still, just as it is. Just as it is. Just as it is. Because, yes, Monoma is a jerk sometimes, but he's not actually being outwardly rude. He's just so prideful of his own class. And for their homeroom teacher, which I forgot his name. Again, sorry about this. He gives him, well, just a new blood pack and other stuff. Just a lot of normal stuff, really, in all honesty. But then for Principal Nezu, which, when Deku was actually going to go in there and leave his gift, Principal Nezu was actually awake. Because, well, yes, Deku knows when you're sleeping and knows you're awake. It only applies to, like, just anything that is human. So when Nezu was a thing, he had to try to figure out when Nezu's awake, but it's kind of hard. Because, well, he can't close his eyelids. So when this happened, he's like, oh, Principal Nezu, it's not nice to be awake when Santa brings presents. And Nezu is like, oh, sorry. I was working and finishing up this type of work. But I am curious. What did you get me, old Saint Nick? And, well, Santa Deku looks at him and says, oh, but you can't figure that out yet. It's not Christmas, technically, or more specifically, Christmas morning. So please, at least stick with the tradition and wait until it's morning. Nezu shrugs and says, sure. For my old pal, Saint Nick. And that's when, well, Deku leaves the present, and he leaves. And you might be wondering, dear viewer, what did he get him? Very, very rare tea that is only made from Santa. That's all I had to say. But then Deku continues giving pro heroes, civilians, all that throughout Japan, their presents. As he continues on coming across certain more people just giving presents. He even goes to the one school that Todoroki and Bakugo and, who failed the test, the hero, licensing exam test. He goes to those children and, gives them their gifts too. And even their teacher, because she's so sweet. Then Deku, ends up in the Todoroki family's house home. So he goes in, leaving a present for Fuyumi and Natsuo. And, he does technically leave a present for, Endeavor, because Endeavor actually got better in this timeline. So in this timeline, he's able to go through that, then, where he's redeeming himself for all the horrible things he'd done to his family. And he's doing really well to the point where he got back on the nice list. But, again, Deku continues on his way, ending up in Rei Todoroki's hospital. So he can give some of those people presents. And for Rei, a very nice present as well. A photo of her family and, her favorite things too. But Deku continues on his way because he has to continue and make sure the gifts are given on time because he cannot delay. So he continues and, finds Bakugo's house, giving his mom and his dad their presents. And on the way, he gives Class 1A and Class 1B's parents, their actual, family members, gifts as well. And especially Tenya Ida's. Why? Because you thought I forgot last time. But again, I just don't want to say everyone's name. But what he gave Ida's present is so special, so great, that it's going to bring Ida to tears. What he gave his brother was a gift. A type of equipment to allow his brother to be able to run and walk again and to use his powers again. So he's able to continue his hero work again. So Ida can have his dream of him and his brother doing more heroic work together. And it's so very happy time for that. But in the end, Deku continues on his way, still giving gifts to the ones on the nice list, while Krampus, his friend, goes and deals with the ones who weren't so nice. But as Deku continues going, he does, end up in Tartarus and leaves a gift to one individual who is so sorry and so remorseful. And in the end, it wasn't really her fault that she did those bad things. She was tricked, and Deku understands that she had no choice in the matter. And what does he do? He gives a gift to Lady Nagant, and it's get well soon. Here's a gift to remind you of the good times, and please do not fall down into despair. And what did he give her, you may ask? Well, it's a little embarrassing for her, but she got, a little present that looks like Santa, but what she remembers seeing Santa, because when she was very little, she saw Deku, who, saw him as he actually is, and, she's given that, of him giving a thumbs up, telling her she's still a great person, that she should not fall down into despair. But anyway, Deku continues on his way. And, where he goes, he finally ends up in Overhaul's base. Yes. And this is a little before everything, so when Deku gets there, he's easily able to sneak past everyone to come across Eri. And what does he do with Eri? What does he give her? He doesn't give her anything. He actually lifts her up while she's asleep, because her one present, her one wish, is to be saved and to be taken away from everything so she can't hurt nobody anymore. But Deku cannot ever think of the bad in people, so he decided to take her back with him to the North Pole so she could have what she wants, but also so she can actually feel like if she had a family. So, in the end, he carries her out so easily too, but she's still, out cold. She's still asleep, just snoring away, snoozing away. But in the end, Deku continues and, flying around, giving people gifts, giving everything to the ones who need it the most. And when it comes down to it, when he's finally finished, he flies right back to the North Pole to finally rest himself, to finally take a break after doing what he does every December, every Christmas. And when he flies home, he gets back home and he comes across, Mrs. Claus, or Ochako. And she has her hands on her hips saying, "Santa, or should I say Deku, why do you have a little girl this time?" And Deku pulls out his list to show her what the little girl asked for, and also took a few photos so she can see where she was. And Ochako instantly changed her mind and says, "Oh, that poor thing. Give her to me. I'll take care of her and, well, baby her while you, well, rest. Because you need to, well, keep up your kindred spirit." And, well, right then and there, she grabs Eri from Deku's arms and she runs out of the room. As he's just standing there like, wow, that happened really fast. Genuinely, it happened really fast. Never saw her this excited. Or this happy about, well, a child for once. But then Deku shrugs and then walks over, sitting down in his old big seat as he drinks some hot chocolate and eats the cookies that everyone left out for him. Because, well, it's Deku in the end, and still Santa, so he has to eat them. And in the end, he really likes a lot of them. A lot of these cookies were really well made. And, well, in the end, Deku always loves bringing cheer to those who, well, didn't really expect it this time of year. But that's the thing. After that, everyone who was asleep wakes up, seeing their gifts, and it's a form of happiness, excitement for some, or shock for others. And I'll name a few. For All Might, it was a very, very big surprise. Seeing a statue of his old mentor saying that he can keep doing this. He's a hero. He's the best. It shocked him, and he broke into tears, genuinely. He cried. He cried like a little baby. He was very, very happy, though, with the gift that he has gotten. And it made him very, very happy. For Lady Nagant, when she woke up, she saw the gift and she said, "Santa? Really? You still believe in me?" And she just sat there for a while in shock. A little bit of tears coming out of her face. But for another person's point of view, for Nezu, when he finally was able and allowed to open the gift, what did he get, you may ask? Well, besides the tea set and this very special brew that he always likes from St. Nick, Santa sneaked another present underneath Nezu's nose. And what was it? Well, it was a little extra strong tea this time. And it was a unique blue, very unique tea, like blend of tea. It was a very, 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 very interesting brew because Saint Nick made him a special new batch of tea, a very new one, and never seen before. So, hey, Nezu will love the challenge. But then, in the end, this is where Eri wakes up. And when she wakes up in Mrs. Claus's arms. She screams for a second as, well, Deku runs into the room and says, "What's wrong?" And, well, Ochako is like, "Oh, calm down, sweetie. It's okay." And that's when Santa walks over and, well, hugs both of them and tells Eri, "It's okay. Your present came true, child." Then, after that, Eri doesn't know how to feel about anything. But, guess what? That's where we're going to leave off the what if. Thank you for sticking to the end of the video. I know I sound more better, I guess. If you think I genuinely sound more better in your opinions or whatever, let me know in the comments. But like I said, thank you for sticking to the end of the video. And, just basically, hey, you got one more video, one more one shot, which is going to be Deku, but he's the medieval knight. And yes, I do leave in my fuck up words because it's funny. Again, if this one was shorter, because I don't know, this is me from the past right now talking to you. If this one was shorter, you're welcome. If this one was longer, you're welcome. Again, it's kind of hard to do Santa for me because, again, nothing really changes with Deku. He's just, Santa, and he just does what Santa does in a sense. So he is kind of a hero in that sense because, he brings joy to the world. But just letting you know, that's just how it's gonna go. So if there was anything else you wanted me to do with Santa Deku, let me know and I could try to change it up for next year, you know? But hey, up to you guys if you want me to do Santa Deku again. Again, unlike the other version of Deku, I ain't gonna ramble on for too long in the end here. I'm just letting you guys know, hey, just let me know. But besides that though, I hope you're having a good Christmas, or if this video came out after Christmas, I hope you're having a good, good rest of your months and all that type of stuff. But I do respect all of you who sat down and actually are watching my content. And I do want you guys to continue commenting down below in the description. But that's all I have to say. And see you guys in the next one.